Hey y'all, it's Kim and welcome back to Coping with Kim. It has been a little bit since I've done a podcast, and I'll just be honest, I've really been feeling the heaviness of life lately, and I think a lot of people are. And it's not just the stuff we're personally going through or the stuff I'm personally going through. It's what's happening all around us. You turn on the TV and it's war, hate, division, or loss. You scroll through social media and it feels like everybody's either arguing or showing off or just quietly struggling. You just try to live your life and still everything feels tense, uncertain, and just hard. And then you add your own stuff on top of that. The bills, the relationships, grief, the kids, the health issues that are happening every day, the things you don't talk about, but you still carry every single day. It's like we are so disconnected in this supposedly connected world, and it can be overwhelming. I mean, sometimes it feels like it's just too much. I mean, it does for me. Doesn't it for you too? That's what I'm hearing. Most people are just hanging on. I mean, it's like we're trying to hold up the whole world and it's just pressing down harder. And I've had those moments too, times when I've just sat alone and said, God, I don't even know what is going on right now or what you're doing right now. I've cried, I've questioned, and even though I didn't always get the answers I wanted, God always met me with peace. Not a perfect peace that made everything go away, disappear, but a quiet peace that said, you're going to get through this. You're not alone. And I think that's what faith really looks like. Not pretending everything's okay, but still trusting that God's got it under control, even when you don't understand. I mean, He is the creator. And sometimes we have to go through these hard things that we don't understand to get to where we're supposed to go. So let's be real. The world feels heavy right now. People are hurting. The families are divided. Prices are high. Tempers are short and fear is everywhere. I mean, it's hard not to carry all that weight inside. And you all know I'm a hairstylist, not a therapist, but I do get to talk to a lot of people in my line of work. And sometimes they'll just say, Kim, I'm doing everything I can, but I just feel drained. And I get it. I so get it because I feel that too. Sometimes it's not one big thing. For me, it's a bunch of little things stacking up. You think you're doing okay. And then, bam, something else hits. Like the car breaks down. That happened to me. Someone gets sick. A relationship may fall apart, or had a couple of air conditioning units go out back when it was still a little bit warm. You're just trying to stay strong, deal with everything that you have to deal with on a daily basis, but you're tired and it's hard. We're not supposed to have to do all this alone, but a lot of times we think we are. And I just want to tell you, you're not weak for feeling that way. I'm not weak for feeling that way. We are human, and we're allowed to feel tired. We're allowed to take a breath, give ourselves a break. We're not going to do everything perfect. Because even when you feel like you're drowning, God is still right there in the storm. Or at least that's how things have worked out for me. And sometimes He doesn't calm the storm right away. Sometimes He calms you first. And for all the things that I have been through in my life, and I keep forgetting this. But when I do take a breath and realize that I'm not alone in this, that God is really right there with me, I've just got to accept it and reach out. So, what do we do when we feel like it's not going to be okay? How do we keep hope alive when the world feels like it's falling apart, or when our world around us in our personal unit feels like it's falling apart? Well, let's talk about it. So, for me, that's all I can do is tell you what has worked for me. And no matter how many times I have to go through this, it seems like the more I go through these hard times, I'm remembering what has worked for me. So I would like to share that with you. The first thing that I would like you to know is be honest about what you're feeling. I mean, stop trying to hold it all in. That doesn't do you any good. You don't have to put on a brave face for everybody. God doesn't need perfect prayers. He just wants real ones. And people don't need you to be perfect. They need you to be who you are. And for me, I say, God, I'm struggling. I'm scared. I'm angry. I'm lost. And He can handle that honesty. He can handle your honesty. That's not weak faith. That's real faith. And I could not make it through this life without faith. So I want to encourage you to think about that. Not trying to preach. I'm just trying to tell you what I believe is real. And we've got to live our lives that way. Faith over fear. But we've got to ask for help when we're hurting. But we first have to recognize what is bothering us. The second thing that has helped me the last few years when I finally realized this, probably as much as anything, is that you got to take it one day at a time. Wow, that is a big thing. It's hard to do, but it's the only way I could get through life, other than my faith, is to take life one day at a time. Sometimes it's 1 hour, 1 minute, one problem. That's all you can do. You cannot solve tomorrow's problems because they may not even be the problems you think that they're going to be. And you don't have to see the whole picture. You just got to ask yourself, what can I do today? Sometimes that means getting out of bed. Sometimes it means doing one small thing that keeps you going. And that's okay. That counts. That helps to get you through that day. And hopefully, if you can make it through that day, the next day might be better. And if it's not, just keep persevering, keep pushing forward. Don't give up. The third thing that helps me is to learn to protect my peace. And the way I do that is, I can't heal if I keep exposing myself to things that drain me. So a lot of times I'll want to come in and catch up on the news, but that doesn't help. So I just turn the news off if it's too much, because I really can't do anything about that. I can't fix all the problems. Why should I allow them to pull me down even more than I might be that day? Or I'll go to social media to catch up on what's happening. But a lot of times people are arguing, or it's just negative, bad things. And I'm not going to let that pull me down either. So I turn that off. So, it's like you're the only one that knows how to protect your peace or what's bothering you. Or if come home and things are just really negative, try to go take a walk outside. Don't get all caught up in it, because your peace is sacred. It's important. And you are the only one that knows what that looks like. And the fourth thing that I try to recognize and try to do to help me during these hard times is, to be kind. I mean, when the world feels dark and kindness doesn't seem to be happening, try to do something kind. Hold the door open for someone, smile, check on somebody. Even small kindness can shift the atmosphere. It can just make everything better, and it will help that person, and it will help you. It does help me. Just don't get caught up in the negative and retaliate with anger or being hateful because other people are being hateful. Turn it around and be kind, and you would be surprised how many people it catches off guard, and that's really what they needed at that moment. And then the fifth thing is look for the good that's still here. And I know it's hard sometimes, but there's always something to be thankful for. I mean, your morning coffee, a warm bed, the fact that the temperature in your house is comfortable, or that you have a house. Your children, the fact that they laughed, or that they are with you, or your grandchildren. And sometimes something that just makes me happy is the sunlight that's coming through the window. Just little things that we take for granted. Those to me are all signs that God's still here and He's still working. But a lot of times we expect these big miracles, but maybe that's not what we're supposed to get today. Maybe we're supposed to learn to recognize the small, wonderful things that we take for granted. And when we see those things and recognize them, for me, it makes my day better. And it lets me know that God is here. I'm just too caught up in my own self sometimes to see it. I've learned that faith isn't about understanding. I get that. But it's about trusting anyway. It's about saying, God, I don't get this, but I still believe you're good, and I still believe you know what's best for me. So I'm going to trust you, and I'm going to get back up, dust my knees off, and try to get through today, because I know that I matter, and I want you all to know you matter. But we will not be able to fulfill what God has put us here for if we give up. So even if it's just barely hanging on, we can't give up. And listen, I know that's not easy to do when your heart's broken or the world feels hopeless. But that's when faith matters most, in the middle of all the mess, the craziness. Some of the hardest times of my life have taught me the most about who God is. Not because everything turned out perfect, but because I realized He never left me. He keeps showing up for me, especially when I ask Him to. He was there in the heartbreak. He was there in the confusion, in the nights I couldn't sleep. And He was even there when I couldn't feel Him. He was still carrying me through. And after I get through that storm, I realize that. And those are the things that help me keep going. So I want to encourage you to try to see your life through different eyes. I mean, it may be the same life, but you're going to choose today to deal with it differently. And you're going to choose to have hope and to have faith. And faith is something you don't see a lot, but you trust. So if your hope feels small right now, which I think a lot of people's does, I know mine does, that's okay. You don't have to have it all together. You don't have to have strong faith every day. God gets that. He understands. You just have to keep showing up, guys. Keep believing that even in the darkness, light still exists. Because it does. And you know, the world is heavy, but God's love is stronger. And our hearts get weary and they get overwhelmed. But God's grace is steady. And even when we can't see it, He's still working behind the scenes in your life, in your family, and in this world. So hang on. Even if it's by a thread, like I said earlier, hang on. That little thread might be the very thing God uses to pull you through. Just say, God, I'm barely hanging on by maybe my pinky, but I trust that you have got this, and I know you're going to pull me out. And that is what has carried me through. If the world feels heavy for you right now, and maybe your own world does too, please remember this. Just please. You're not alone. You're not forgotten. And you're not hopeless. God is still good, even when life isn't. He's still working, even when you can't see it. And there is still beauty waiting to rise up from all this brokenness, guys. We've got to hold on to that. So take a deep breath. Keep showing up. Keep praying. Keep communicating with your Maker. And keep holding on to hope, even when you don't understand. Because one day I believe we all will understand if we just hang on. And I want you all to know that I care about you so much. And I thank you for being here with me today. And I want you to know that even though I had to take a break to deal with my own life and family and situations, getting back on has made me realize how much I need you all, how much I need to hear these things as much as you do. So I want to thank you for being there with me today. And until next time, please take care of your heart, protect your peace, and remember, even when the world feels heavy and overwhelming and hopeless, God is still holding it, and He's holding you too.